volunteer, and this is a 1945, 39 to 45.
Right.
And that was our lookout in. That was our hat badge. We were known, this is the name of the regiment, but we were known as the Kangaroos. For the simple reason the tanks, the tanks we had, the turrets were off, and they hauled infantry back of the German lines, dropped them off, and then come back again. And this is the medal we got for the liberation of Holland. And since we got that, everything seemed to, before that, my partner with trucking gas was an Indian chap from Nova Scotia, an Alvin, nice guy. And I just thought to myself, you know, they were never recognized. As soon as they were discharged, they sent them into the reserve or something, you know. And so, anyway, when this came out, and then we got the license plate, with the veterans license plate, then they started to recognize the native people. There were a lot of them. Well, same as me. You took a risk.
Risk also, yeah. So these are your dog tags?
Yeah. Well, we had one in Canada. I think that one, and then when we were going overseas, we had to give it another just in case it got lost.
Nice.
And this is me on the ferry boat going back from Calais to Dover in England. And you know the White Cliffs of Dover?
Yes.
You know, the morning that we sailed was bright, sunshine was good, and as soon as we left the Calais, you had to down there wear sunglasses. The reflection.
The reflection is, yeah.
And these are little coins that were in memory of the...
Well, every Veterans Day, Lindsay plays, you know, their music, and so she knows a long way to Tipperary and the White Cliffs of Dover.
And it was that one, I forget her name. The Germans always played it.
Vera.
Try and make us homesick.
Vera Lynn? No.
No,
Marty,
I can't think of the name. It's one of the lady singers from the States. But they had her record, and every morning at breakfast time or when you got up, turned the radio on, they were playing that record of that lady singer.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wanted to be I know the song too.
So like not Clooney, Rosemary Clooney or something? No. Can't think of it either.
Sometimes my memory works, so I remember things after the fact. Now, why don't you like wine, Uncle?
Pardon?
Why don't you like red wine or wine?
Because when I was about 15, I went rabbit hunting. Well, I walked after the chores were done. I'd go, we had to see how many rabbits you could get so you'd have enough money to go to the dance next week. You know, it was only 2 bits, but you had to kill 5, get 5 skins. That's 5 cents. So I stopped at my godfather's place. It was Ignace Fisher. I don't know what they were, Czechs, I think. Anyway, he made his wine and he made beer. And I thought, I'm in the area, I'll stop in and say hello to him, you know, and visit with him for a while. Well, he brought this damn beer out. It was rank, and the wine was like vinegar. You know, well, I had to taste some, you know. But before I got home, I walked about 3.5 miles across country. I was sicker than a dog, and to this day, wine, champagne isn't too bad, but wine if somebody's, I'm sitting beside somebody who's drinking wine here, right away I start getting a headache. Cheap headache.
But I thought it was, when they were liberating, the country there in Germany, the guys would find these wine cellars.
No, well, I wasn't in the...
But you couldn't...
Because we were in Holland.
Oh, Holland, oh yeah.
We went through Holland, we didn't go through Germany.
Yeah, our story is...
The only place in Germany was Luxembourg.
Mm-hmm.
We went that was my first going into the battlefield, like, on the 13th of January, 1945.
Yeah, I thought it was... You had, you know, we used to break into cellars when they would liberate the country there, the Canadians, and they were drinking so much of that wine. I thought maybe that's why you weren't keen on wine.
There was very little wine when they had their celebration in Holland.
Oh, yeah.
Some of them, they had whiskey, but that was brought out of Belgium. In Belgium, you could buy anything because we trucked. When we came back out of Luxembourg, we went back into Holland, and they were changing the tracks on the tanks, and we'd haul the used tracks, the ones that had to be fixed, into a place called Turnout, and then the officer in charge says, "Boys, clean your toolboxes out." They were about, I'd say, 2 feet by 2.5, and about that deep. And they gave us money, and we would stop at a certain place, and we'd load that toolbox was full of liquor. And you had to account for it too, because they gave you the money. And when you got back to camp, everybody was there.
Had their money ready.
So, and the streets where we picked it up, we had to go into the back lane. People had to stand in the doorways. The 3-ton truck, just so that you got through there.
All right, very narrow.
Yeah.